My brothers and sisters, I cannot emphasize the significance of food security programs like the Poultry Farmers Project to the efforts to scale up the fight against HIV/AIDS, as well as the resultant social challenges stemming from this pandemic. Community-based agriculture and commerce are important healing and empowering vehicles towards Lesotho's future self-reliance. The High Commission of Lesotho recognizes your contribution in the response to the challenges Lesotho face in the fight against HIV/AIDS. Through your collaboration with Bracelet of Hope, this partnership continues to be very necessary in a small, vulnerable country like Lesotho. And I hope that this partnership will continue to be sustainable and to be ongoing on a continual basis. As you are probably aware, Lesotho has high HIV/AIDS prevalence rate of 23.6% amongst adults. And that is a huge number given that we are only a population of 1.8 million. And we also have 11,000 annual mortality rate. Notwithstanding all of these challenges that stem from HIV/AIDS, underdevelopment and limited resources, the government of Lesotho has nonetheless invested heavily in the development of its own people, particularly in the health and education sectors. This commitment has been entrenched in Lesotho's Vision 2020 and poverty reduction strategy programs, which are informing the way forward with synergized priorities. The government of Lesotho takes its commitments seriously. For example, over the last 6 years, mortality rate has been reduced by 50%. In education, one of the major accomplishments of the government of Lesotho is our free primary education. However, developing extracurricular activities remains a development gap where the support of the international civil society organizations is necessary. Libraries, sports facilities, as well as venues and equipment for the arts and the workshops are just examples of facilities that Lesotho is in urgent need of to truly be able to achieve its developmental aspirations. As a formal and non-formal educator, I am particularly concerned about the challenges with extracurricular development in Lesotho, which denies children the ability to realize their potential. The extracurricular stimulation necessary in the fight against HIV/AIDS, where facilities such as libraries, community centers, and workshops would steer impressionable youth away from destructive behaviors, including those that put them at risk to exposure to HIV/AIDS.
Just before I get started, Jam, if you want to go to Lesotho, I'm leaving July 17th. You can accompany me. Mathabo, this is a privilege to see you here. And actually the next person to thank is Anne-Marie, because this is actually the second time a High Commissioner has been in Guelph in 4 years. So really, this is a privilege, so I thank you because you seem to know what to do. Okay. Thanking you. I was really glad to hear that mortality rate has been reduced by 50%. This is one of the things whenever I'm in Lesotho, I'm there several times a year, and as I go from village to village, just noticing the funerals that take place. That's the shock when I'm there. It's almost like you cannot invite anyone for dinner or to visit you on Saturday or Sunday because what they do is to go to the funeral. It is a shocking. So I'm so glad to hear that this is coming down. You touched on food security. This has been, I think there's still an Aggie in me or somebody to have been in agriculture that has always been something very, very important to me. And people, members of Africa Committee know this. It's sort of like I've always kind of drilled in them. When we think about Lesotho, we are going to focus on food, and how we can do food security and tagging in job creation as we do that. So they're very, very aware of that. The other piece you raised is about extracurricular activity. And it really never came to mind as I go to Lesotho, but it's so correct as I imagine it. Looking at the playgrounds in Lesotho, they're bare. There's nothing to climb other than the tires are there because cars are there, because there's always waste from them. And they're so creative in putting all these tires for children to climb and do and jump over and so on. And now when the school is over, what do they do? And is it sort of hanging around? Or days in that time when I was growing up, I would go and help in the fields or do certain things like that. Things have changed a lot. And I can see these extracurricular activities being very, very important for Lesotho. So hopefully it will be one of the things we could consider when we want to go into the next step, if we feel that we are where we are with food security and so on. For being here on your behalf, Rotary Club of Guelph has made a donation to Polio Plus campaign. And with your donation, 100 children will be immunized around the world with the donation that we are making on your behalf. So thank you very much for being here.